Hey guys, another beautiful day in the beautiful life. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are taking care of yourself, and I hope you are safeguarding your heart and your energy like the precious resource that it is. Before I get started, let's clean the space. I apologize in advance if I am talking too fast because I'm somewhere that I need to be getting to. There we go. It's a nice burn. Yeah, clean all that negative, dense, yucky energy that's not even yours out of your space. So this video is gonna be dedicated to all the people who operate with integrity, with kindness and love, and also people who have felt abandoned, misunderstood, dismissed. Yeah, all of that stuff, all of that good stuff. You know why it's good stuff? Because it's the essential ingredients that are necessary for you to grow and grow into your power. Does that make sense? Yeah, so if you are an empath, I'm not talking about highly sensitive people because highly sensitive people are, I want to say, more focused on their own sensations and then they're reacting to it. Empaths are literal energetic sponges. People who like take on other people's stuff knowingly or unknowingly, and it's not even your stuff, you know? So that's why like hygiene is so important. Cleaning yourself, your energy, not only the physical part, the energetic part of yourself is so important. And I mean, ideally, you'd want to do it every day, but sometimes you get lazy like me and you just don't keep up with that, and that's okay too, you know? Um, so, how am I going to piece this together? Okay, I made another video that focused on not everything requires your emotional participation. 100%. That is a major key as an empath. So, once you realize that not everything requires your emotional participation, you have found the regulation switch within yourself that can turn your emotions, your emotional investments into everything and everyone around you on or off, right? Like you can still feel, but you're not necessarily engaging or allowing someone to pull on your heartstrings. You know, you basically put a barrier up or a boundary up, and then you get to choose who has access to that or not. Once you, I want to say, find that switch within yourself, that regulatory switch within yourself where you can like, yeah, like regulate whether or not a person, a situation, a connection requires your emotional participation or not. Once you find that switch, you can like literally in most situations dial that switch down low. You know, that doesn't mean you still don't feel people's stuff. You absolutely do feel other people's stuff. It's just you're not reacting to it. You're not having that knee-jerk reaction to fix. You're not having that knee-jerk reaction to be understood, to understand. You know, you're just kind of like in a very neutral and calm place within yourself where you can literally scan. Um, Scan your environment, scan people, scan connections, scan information. I call them data points. Like I scan everything, I collect data points from a very neutral place, non-judgmental place. I'm not even projecting my shit onto anyone else. I'm just literally an analyst and collecting data points, filing them away in my file cabinet in my mind, and then when I have time to process, and that's why I think we require a lot of alone time, I'll take the necessary time to process all the data points that I've accessed and accumulated, and then I will strategically see how all these pieces fit together, and then I'll also strategically and from a very discerning place decide what actions, what steps I need to do moving forward. So, like, I determine in that space, I determine whether or not a connection is healthy for me, if it's unhealthy for me. If it's healthy, cool. You know, I'll keep like participating in it. If it's unhealthy, I start retracting my energy. The bouncer like steps in and says, access revoked. You know, these people no longer have access to me. Where am I going with this? So it's so funny. What came to mind was the analogy of the lamb and the lion. I think they used that analogy in the Bible. And I do not practice any particular religion because I think every religion has like its has good points, you know what I mean? And also it's also used as a control mechanism. So, knowing that, I just take the good parts, apply them, and then chuck the rest in the fuck it bucket, honestly. If that offends you, I'm sorry. Maybe that's something you need to like self-analyze within yourself. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, lion or the lamb. Okay, so empaths have predominantly been operating as lambs in society. Like kind and caring and loving and innocent, forgiving, understanding, docile, very vulnerable. We've been literally playing the role of the lamb in society. And if you've noticed, as I've noticed, a lot of people in society are not operating from a lamb. Okay? Where this becomes detrimental to our well being is we're not operating from a place of wholeness. Because if you're just operating from the lamb, that's why people take advantage of you. That's why you attract opportunists, narcissists, parasites. That's why people betray you. That's why people dismiss you, scapegoat you, project all their shit on you. That's when you need to activate the lion in you, because the lion is equally as important as a lamb is. So for me, like I've noted, like if somebody feels safe to my nervous system, if something feels organic and transparent, and that person has high integrity and can match my integrity and my reciprocity, then by all means I can be the lamb. But if somebody has proven to me that they are parasitic, what I mean by parasitic is they fucking siphon your energy. They siphon your mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic energy without like returning anything except pain and confusion and dysregulation. Lion comes out. You could also call lion the bouncer. And I think that's why, like, for me, like, I don't know, when the lion comes out, I definitely note that I let the lion come out when I feel dismissed, disrespected, in any way, shape, or form. And that's just like the bouncer coming out to protect the lamb, my heart, my soul, my spirit, very sensitive, gentle parts of myself. And you have to, it's funny, so like people say it's all love and light. That's kind of not necessarily accurate because it's not all love and light. There's also dark aspects of yourself, and I feel like a lot of people are afraid of the darker aspects of themselves. They have a tendency to repress it, dismiss it, and put it on the back burner or sweep it under the rug instead of doing the inner work to integrate the two. It's all about wholeness. The lamb is one side of the coin, the lion is another side of the coin. You can't just operate from one side of the coin and say that's what it is, because you're not actually functioning from a holistic standpoint. You need to integrate the two and operate from that space. You know how to regulate that aspect of yourself where you can be kind when you need to, you can be gentle when you can't, you can be generous when you want to. But then if somebody is, like I said, taking resources from you and not giving you anything back, lion, bouncer. Yeah, and it's not mean. I think we've been taught for most of our lives through social conditioning, and even like from ourselves, that oh, that's mean. I can't be mean to some. Well, if somebody is attacking you, does that apply really? If somebody is attacking you, are you just gonna like stand idly by and just let them do that? No, the lion comes out. You know, the protective agent within yourself has agency to do its job. And it's so funny. Like for me, like whenever I bring the lion out, it just depends on who I'm interacting with and the situation. But sometimes the lion roars, And what I mean by roars is it'll like hold somebody accountable and speak truth, you know, and stop making excuses and stop like enabling bad behaviors. It'll roar. It'll speak the truth. It'll hold people accountable. You know what I mean? Like your actions towards me are very detrimental, and can you make that make sense? You know. But a lot of times, like I don't really need to be very like expressive. You know, it's almost like a silent invisible boundary within myself that occurs, and that's why I think the door slam is so prevalent. Like we sense, we've accumulated enough data points to realize that this person isn't just having a bad day. This is this person's pattern. This is like the data points we've accumulated have led us to the conclusion that it's not a bad day. This person just is very dysregulated, very unhealthy, and we're no longer going to tolerate it. We're no longer going to allow them access to us and our generosity and our kindness and our warmth and our all the good things, you know. Yeah, access revoked because these people want access to you without returning. Like, make that make sense, right? We have to ask ourselves, make things make sense, you know. How do I say this? I feel like it may look mean to some people, because especially manipulative people, you know, because they've lost access to you, and so they're gonna like guilt trip you, or they've lost their ability to siphon your energy, so they've lost their access for you to emotionally regulate them. So it looks mean, right, to them, but does it mean to you? No, it's literally safeguarding your own energy. Yeah, so I feel like we haven't been taught this for one of three reasons. There's probably more angles that I haven't considered, but these are the top three reasons that come to mind. We haven't been taught to protect our energy and to bring out the lion, because one, I feel like from purely how do I say this? So a lot of times you won't attain wisdom unless you have firsthand experiences that activate lessons. Does that make sense? Like, you needed to go through that so that you could experience it firsthand, so you could accumulate the wisdom to like move forward. Two, people just don't know. They don't know because they are also following the script that we've been force fed by society, you know. And three, the people who do know, who are most likely manipulators and predators and opportunists and narcissists, energetic vampires, whatever you want to call them, they don't want you to know, because if you know what they're doing, then they'll lose access to you. You know, they want access to things that they don't have to work for. Like, why work for it when I can just like siphon it off of somebody else who already has it, or who has been working hard to accumulate what they've accumulated? Why? You know. So yeah, that's the three reasons why we haven't been taught any different. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, also, like, if you sit with yourself long enough and you just recognize things as data points and take notes like the eager student that you are, that eager student that I am. I fucking love accumulating information. I think I've mentioned that in other videos. Yeah, once you like accumulate enough data points and you've trained yourself to stay in a very neutral observational mode, and also you've also mastered regulating like yourself, it's hard for people to dictate your narrative. Yeah, because how do people dictate your narrative? It's all projection. You know, think about it. It's projection. I'll give you a good example. In fact, I'll give you two good examples. One, I have a coworker who was telling me like, "Oh, I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I'm not like trying to hold on to the past." And she was trying to like project that on me. You know, like, I have an issue and I'm holding on to the past. I'm not holding on to the past. I'm protecting myself. You know, and obviously the word is coming out of your mouth. I was just sitting here idly standing by on my own, doing my own thing, and you're the one bringing it to the forefront of the conversation. So that's your projection. So a lot of times people, whatever comes out of their mouth and they're projecting towards you, it's something that they're dealing with, but they don't want to deal with it. So what do? They project it on the empath, right? No more of that. No more of that. Just recognize it for what it is. And for me, like, once you react or once you agree to that narrative, you're already like telling them that you've agreed to a role that they've like conjured up in their mind that you should play. You should play that part in my narrative because I don't want to face my dark side and I don't want to face my issues. So I'm going to project it on you. And since you've agreed and since you reacted and since you've tried to like get me to understand your point, you've agreed to play the role. So for me, I just stand idly by and it's funny when you're silent and you're non-reactive, people just lose their shit. Like they're just like, oh, okay, this person is not agreeing to play that role in my narrative and they're not accepting my projection. So now that's awkward. I need to go and fucking sit with myself with that shit. Or I need to find someone else who will accept the projection. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna run out of video space, so I have to leave. I don't know if I've touched on all the points that I wanted to. The second example, that's it. So there is a person that frequents my workplace, and he is obviously a parasite. And all my coworkers don't really like this person, but they play the role of the lamb. Like they're so nice and kind, but then they complain when he leaves, and they're like, "Don't you have a problem with this person?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't allow him access to me. Like, I don't act kind and I don't act nice. I'm literally I have my bouncer ready to like boot him out of the place, you know? And so he knows he can't play with me." And my coworker's like, "Well, that's mean." And I'm like, "Is it mean? If somebody is trying to like attack you, do you stand idly by like a lamb and let them? Absolutely not." Anyways, I gotta go. But if you learned something from this video, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. Blessings to one and all.